Hello, welcome everyone to the MetroAir virtual video tutorial series number 2. This video will cover how to bid and schedule a flight as well as flight assignments. So we can get straight into it. The tab we're going to be concerned with is the Operations tab, and specifically the Schedule drop-down. We can click on Mainline. Right now I'll explain what Mainline is. Mainline is the schedule of routes provided by MetroAir itself and none of the code shares, not including any of the code shares. So one of the most useful features I think is this route map. You can either have it inline or full size. I'll choose inline and open it in a new tab so we can still have the mainline schedule open on another tab. Now you can see the route map is very useful. You have all the unique destinations represented by red dots as well as black lettering saying what they are. All over the world, and we can click on one, say Charleston, West Virginia, and you can see the only flight out of Charleston, West Virginia is to Baltimore. Let's pick another one. How about Salt Lake City? You can see we fly to Salt Lake City from Los Angeles, Portland, Kansas City, and as well as Boston. Alright, I think you get the idea. You can click on a city, and then it will show you the routes that go to and from the city. Alright, back to the mainline schedule. You have 4 drop downs here. You have aircraft, which is our fleet in its entirety, and you can choose an aircraft that you want to fly if you want to be that specific. There is ETE, which stands for Estimated Time on Route, and you can choose all ETE times or be more specific with 1 hour less, 2 hours less, 3 hours less, 4 hours less, or 4 hours or more. Now we have departure airport, which is sorted alphabetically. And if you don't want to choose departure airport, you can just choose all airports. What people not many people know about long drop-down menus like this is that instead of, saying you want to depart at Boston, you have to go up to the B's, find BO, it's sorted alphabetically, so that may take a while. All you gotta do is when it's dropped down like this, just type in BO, BOS even, and then boom, it's right there at the bottom and it highlights it for you. So I'm going to select that as an example. Same thing for the arrival airport. Say you want to fly from Boston to let's choose Salt Lake City, like we saw in the map. Let's choose Salt Lake City. Now, notice I've only selected the departure airport and the arrival airport. I'm not specifying an aircraft or an estimated time on route, although it can only be one estimated time on route because it's only one city pair. So we click on search, we can see all flights flying to and from that airport. Currently, we only have one flight in an aircraft A319, and duration is 4.5 hours actually. Now if we click on the flight number, we can get some more information about this flight. So aircraft time en route, distance in nautical miles, and the schedule and period. Currently it's daily, once a day. Now what's really neat is that MetroAir assigns a departure gate. It is not necessary to depart from that gate, but I find it's very cool, and not many airlines do this. As well as if you click on a link, it's a PDF on the departure gate, and it will show you where it is. In this case, it is represented by a green dot right there. And so if you want to orient yourself with how the airport's laid out around at your gate, you can just look at the green dot. Oh, there I am, and there's the airport. Same thing for Salt Lake City over here. If we open up this PDF in a new tab, you can see that Alpha 2 is right where that green highlighter circle is. We can close that, go back here. Scheduled departure time. Now, you will, if you read the pilot handbook, it is mentioned that departure times are pretty strict at Metro in that you got to get pretty close to departure time. If you forget to file a departure time, your PIREP is in risk of being denied. However, your sim does not have to be set to system time. It can be changed to departure time. I usually say it usually takes me about 15 minutes to pre-flight until pushback. Remember, this is pushback time departure, not wheels up time, not takeoff time. So I usually set it at 15:45 local time, and usually about 15 minutes later, I'm finally ready for pushback at 1600. Same thing with arrival time. It's just 4.5 hours later. Weather. We have the METAR from Boston, current METAR within the hour, as well as the TAF from Boston. Also, we have charts. I think these charts are not quite up to date, but fairly recent, within the last couple months. And you can see if we just right-click on one, and they do not exist anymore. Okay, a way to find charts is available in a document under the training page. Also, same thing for rival airports, weather, METAR and TAF, and charts, which still don't work. Right, that's what I thought. Okay, planning resources. Plans and resources. To find our route, we can use SimRoutes or FlightAware, or a couple more mentioned in the Finding a Route page, another document under the training section. Also, there's some recent routes flown by other pilots here at Metro, recorded by ACARS that you can use if they suit your aircraft and aircraft equipment. Also, there's a direct link to a SimBrief dispatch. If you can just enter your route and then check all the required, or not required, but any checkboxes that you desire and generate, it'll give you a downloadable flight plan they can import into your flight simulator, and then you're all ready to go. Also, we have the return flights. So Metro 771 was Boston, Salt Lake City. Metro 772 is from Salt Lake City to Boston. You can just click on that, and it'll bring you right to the page we're not going to right now. Also, you can see the popularity of this route by hub. Currently, there's one pilot this month from someone from the Kansas City hub, and there's one pilot this month from Baltimore. But in total, there is 6 from the Baltimore hub. Alright, that covers the route page. If we just go back here we go, we can search again with that little box I just clicked on top right here. Now say we want to filter, we don't really care where we depart. How about we select all airports? We want to fly into Salt Lake City because, you know, they have a crazy crosswind and we want to challenge ourselves with a crosswind landing. However, we want to fly it in a prop. So we want to fly it in a Dash 8 Q400. So let's search flights there. A bummer. No flights found. No Dash 8 Q400s fly out of Salt Lake City. How about we choose a different one? Say we want to arrive in Albany, New York. If we search with only aircraft selected and arrival airport selected, we have all the routes flown into Albany by a Dash 8. Currently, it's Baltimore to Albany as well as Boston to Albany, each twice a day. And you can click on one you're choosing. They're the same, except the only difference between them is the departure times. And you can click on one, and I'll show you how to bid on it in a second after we just do one more example. Say we don't care what aircraft we're going to fly, but we don't really care about our airports either. We just on a strict time schedule, so we want to make it a 2-hour flight or less. Now this is going to be a big list, so it may take a couple seconds for the search to work. And we'll just give it a second here. Here we go. The very long list of all flights flown by MetroAir that are 2 hours or less. And it's a very long list. Well, how am I supposed to get through this list? Well, I'll show you. You can sort by flight number. You can sort by departing airport, departure time, arrival airport, arrival time, as well as the duration. So say you want, as close to 2 hours as you can get. So you can sort by duration. Maybe you want it pointing down. There we go. 2 hours. All the 2-hour flights are going to be at the top, and I can sort through that, as well as aircraft. Say you want to, you decide you want to fly an ERJ 170. You can find all flights flown by an ERJ 170 under Metro under 2 hours. Alright, now let's pick a flight and let's bid on it and see how to bid on it. So let's choose, say we want to fly the 787. We don't really care what arrival and departure airport, just a 787. Really love the 787. So we have probably about a dozen here. Let's say we just choose the first one. Los Angeles to Manchester, England. As you can see, it's a 10-hour flight and 4,611 nautical miles for departing from the Tom Bradley International Terminal. If you don't know where that is, you can see it by clicking on the PDF link. And it actually doesn't show it here, but it is this long terminal right here, just I know from past experience. And we'll be arriving at Terminal 1 in Manchester, which you can see the Manchester ground gate, and Terminal 1 is labeled right there. Not a specific gate is assigned, just at Terminal 1. And again, it is not a requirement that you fly to and out of that departure gate that is assigned to you. It is just optional. Alright, so say we really want to fly this flight and we're ready to go right now. So all we have to do is click this bid button in the top right hand corner of the page here. And once you click on it, it'll say active bid, and congratulations, you have successfully bidded on your first flight. Now we can go into code share. Code share, currently we only have one code share with Fly UK, which is a virtual virtual airline based out of the UK. You can see all the routes flown by them that they have to offer to us, and a variety of different aircraft are available as well. Same deal. Click on it. Departure gate, scheduled departure time, airport, time en route, and distance. Same format, and you can bid. However, each codeshare flight costs Metro miles to bid on. This one in particular costs 5 Metro miles. So please be aware of that. What I click on, here we go. Now if we go into schedule and charter and ferries. So here are all the current charter flights that are available to fly. Same deal as bidding on a flight for the mainline or codeshare, where you just click on it and it shows you all the good stuff you can bid in the top right corner again. As well as ferry flights. Say an aircraft just got painted, or it's stationed in a hub and it needs to move hubs. So these are some ferry flights, some rare flights that aren't available for long, but you can fly them in the aircraft that it says. This one you can be flown in a 787, looks like it's from the painting facility or the manufacturing facility in or near Seattle, and it's flown to its Kansas City hub in Kansas City, where it will be based out of. That aircraft will be based out of. Next in the schedule tab, we have featured flights. Now, featured flights are special because they give bonus hours. Actually, that is not true at all. I'm thinking of a different airline. A feature flight is a flight in the system with less than 5 flights completed on ACARE. So it's a not as popular flight, but it is featured to try to raise its popularity. And you can sort it by aircraft only. Say you want a 737-800 search, and boom, there's all the featured flights with the 737-800. Next, we go into flight assignments, which is what I actually love about Metro most. You know, in the real world, if you're hired by an airline, you don't get to choose what route or aircraft you want to fly. You get assigned to it. It's what the airline needs, and that is an optional thing to do in Metro as well. You can choose the aircraft. In case you don't have some aircraft, you can choose multiple aircrafts by holding the control key. Say I don't have a Dash 8 Q400 installed, I don't want to fly that. I can choose a 737-200 and 737-700 if I both have them by holding the control key. That's for aircraft, and as well as estimated time on route times. You can sort by departure and arrival airports and the number of flight assignments you'll assign. So say we want 3 assignments departing from Boston and eventually ending up back at Boston after our 3 flights. And say we don't really care about what aircraft we're flying. How do I deselect that? But just by holding control and clicking on it again. So search. There are no flights found because I don't think you can arrive at the same airport you departed from. So say we want to eventually arrive at Bermuda. Here we go. So first flight assignment, Boston to Kennedy. Second flight assignment, Kennedy to Fort Lauderdale. Finally, Fort Lauderdale to Bermuda. So you have a string. Also a string could be you depart from Boston, head to Kennedy, go to Fort Lauderdale, and then it might assign you back to Kennedy. That's another possibility. You might hit the same airport twice. So that's pretty neat how you can bid on all 3 at once. That's pretty neat how you can, choose an aircraft you want, choose overall en route time and departure and arrival airports, and it'll assign you some flights. I think it does it randomly as well. And if you want to request a charter, you can choose the departure airport, arrival airport aircraft, as well as the week at which the charter is active, as well as you can select a return flight for an extra 25 Metro miles and include any additional notes here. Send charter request, and it's in the system, and you'll get a response shortly. So it looks like that concludes the process for bidding on a flight. However, I want to touch on how to turn that bid into a PIREP. So if you go over Crew Center Profile Bids, you can see that the bid I have recently bidded on, the Metro 85, or sorry, the flight that I recently bidded on, Metro 85 from LAX to Manchester, England, is in the system here as a bid. And you can see for all the other bids I have flown, I have an ACARS PIREP filed, but for this one I have not flown it yet, so I do not have a PIREP filed for it. If I need to, I can do a manual PIREP for some reason if ACARS doesn't work or don't have it set up yet. and you can also delete it if you're not going to fly it. In this case, I'm just going to delete it because I'm probably not going to do that anytime soon. Ooh. Now, to turn that bid into an actual flight, that will be covered in the Metro A Cars video tutorial, which will be one of the last video tutorials in the series. So that concludes it for scheduling and bidding on a flight. Hope you learned something, and we'll see you next time.